Hi, you guys. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome to Hoops and Hurdles. This is a girl, Dr. Teresa Mack. Ooh, I finally said it. Dr. Teresa Mack. What a journey. What a journey. What a journey. What I'm not going to be before you guys long. I'm just being obedient to God. When He speaks, I move. But sometimes I be kind of like, God, like, what we doing? We don't but being obedient and dropping this podcast today, a quick podcast. He's actually been speaking to me while I was at work. And I was like, okay, God, when I go home, I be tired. I be trying to get in the tub, get in the bed. Then I got these new Invisaligns in my mouth. Like, they got your girl in pain. But when God speaks, be obedient. Um, So I was just coming because, again, I am Dr. Teresa Mack. Your girl defended her dissertation approximately 3 weeks ago. And now we just waiting on CAO and I can publish it to ProQuest and I will have my second published book. Oh man, glory to God, glory to God. But I was just coming because as you see, the title says in the hands of God. In the hands of God. And he gave me this title, even though I don't know if you know the Anointed Paid Sisters, but if you know me, you know I love the Anointed Paid Sisters. But that title, it stems from their songs "In the Hands of God." And if you haven't heard the song, I suggest you go hear it. But as life has been life for me, and you also have my book, Resuscitated from Pain to Purpose, you have know what my life has been like or was like. If you do not have my book, Resuscitated from Pain to Purpose, it is available on Amazon. And you can go and you can purchase it, and it'll speed you up to how my life used to be. I am not that person anymore. I am also working on another book. Um, so I actually will be having three books if it's in the Lord's will, but I am working on another book um, because I feel as though it's a lot of things God has done for me, and I need to share it so He can get the glory. And speaking of God getting the glory, well, if you all know, some of you don't know, I didn't have a father present in a home. My father didn't want me. I was in a single parent home. I had an older brother. My mom died when I was 14. I seen her die of colon cancer. She was 43. I've been abandoned. I've been abused. I've been molested. I've been financially exploited. I mean, if you name it, I have been there. I have been homeless. I have, been that type of female where I was, how did my therapist put it? I was trashing myself. And I'm not ashamed to say that because it's my story, but God gets the glory. I was lost. I had identity crisis. I was in the dark. I didn't even know who I was. I'm just going through life, just life. But um, as time progressed, I knew that God had a calling for my life and I had a purpose because the things I have endured, the things I had went through, gone through, and I was just around the wrong people at the wrong time. People I was calling friends weren't really my friends. As long as I was broke, busted, and disgusted, people were just clinging to me and not knowing those were not my friends. And I ended up going back to school and getting my bachelor's degree at Jackson State University in criminal justice. And I graduated cum laude. And I was the first in my family to graduate with a 4-year degree. Now, be advised, my mother is big on education. She was the first to go to the army. She was military, and she was the first to graduate from a 2-year college. And so, like I said, she ended up passing away in 1999 of colon cancer. So she basically passed me the baton. And I had the baton and I fumbled that baton so many times, y'all. I'm not gonna sit there and say I was just running. No, I fumbled that baton. I was like, y'all know what? Get somebody else to do it. This is too much for me. Like what's happened here. And even though I was going through what I was going through, you guys, I never lost sight on God. I always found somebody at church. I always tried to stay connected to the church. Even though I strayed away, I knew, I still had to stay connected to God because without him, I would have been dead so many times. But God kept me. And I'm like, God, why you continue to keep me? Like, this is too much. I just want to die. Like, I tried suicide me. I tried that. Yes, I did. But God kept keeping me. Gun pointed to my head, robbed at gunpoint. Man could have just pulled the trigger because I'm looking at the bullets. But God did not let that man pull that trigger. He kept me, being, beaten and abused by my own brother. You know what I'm saying? Tried to kill me a couple times, but God kept me. And no, I'm not gonna say, oh, she wrong saying that. No, I'm not, because we have to get to a point in our lives where we have to stop sweeping things under the rug when it concerns our family. Yes, you're born into it, but that don't mean you have to stay into it. If it's toxic, if it's traumatization, hey, it is what it is. But as time went on and I graduated from Jackson State University, God moved me to Texas. And I remember my uncle, I have one uncle, and I remember going to him and saying, hey, I'm thinking about moving. My uncle gave me to go. He was like, go. He said, once you go, you ain't gonna want to come back. And sure enough, I went, and yeah, I ain't been back. I don't want to move back. Uh so as time kept going on, I was kind of still, how can I put it, in the world. I was still in the world. Even when I moved to Texas, I was still in the world. I was doing, some things that wasn't of God. I was doing some things that I knew my mother would not be pleased. But again, I was trying to find my way. I was connecting myself to people who I thought were my friends. I was just a codependent. Didn't even know what a codependent was until I ended up going to counseling a couple of years ago. Um, and then finally, once I just said enough was enough after my cousin got killed, I was like, I can't take no more, Lord. I can't do it. And he was like, finally, now let's go to counseling. So once I went to counseling about 2 years ago, she opened my eyes to a lot of things. She gave me a lot of tools. And it made me realize who, girl, you were just going with the flow. Because, I was seeking validation from people, because when you lose your mother and your grandmother, at the early age of people who really loved and care about you and gave you those validations, you start seeking validation from other, from people. And I did do that. I used to do that. I used to seek validation from other people. And it was sometimes it was the wrong validation. I wanted people to see me. Like, do you see me? Like, I mean, clap for me, but it, instead of seeking my validation from people, I should have been seeking validation from God. So God had to get me in a position to where, hey, we got to get you stripped. Let me strip you. I got to strip you. And I got to rebuild you back up in my image. Not the world image, but my image. So let me put you in this cocoon, because now we finna do this butterfly stage. So let me put you in this cocoon and let me transform you. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, that stage is kind of rough, because you see some things in yourself, you learning about yourself, and God moving people that you thought was your friends out the way, and you still trying to hold on to them. He like, nope, um, and it just was like, I know a lot of y'all seen the movie Color Purple, and you know how Steely, I always got talked down on and all that good stuff, and I mean, that's kind of how I felt. People just talking down on me, people just throwing bricks at me and throwing bricks at me. But yesterday, laughing in my face, calling themselves my friend. But you know how God sometimes bring that thing back around to you. You hear what people who's supposed to be your friend are said about you. And it was kind of like, yeah, that's not my friend. And that's how God was just stripping me and moving people out the way, and started wiping my eyes so I could see little things a little more. So I started going through that stage. I got counseling. I started trying to be more humble, move more quietly, you know, and then, once I started letting things go, God started to do things in my life. Things start to manifest, things start to prosper. I started to see things, money start going, and, I was able to stay balanced and financially, it was just a lot. God was bringing people who saw me for who I was and wanted to see me grow. um I thought the first thing I did was start this podcast. When I first started this podcast, it was kind of like for narcissists. No, it was actually, I was in a relationship, and Me and the guy ended up breaking off because he was intimidated by my credentials and such and such. And I was like, dude, I can't do this. You know, I'm not gonna dumb it down myself, so we gotta be together. So no. So I ended up starting this podcast to kind of like get kind of clarity and information like, hey, have y'all ever experienced this? What, you know, how did you handle this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But God kept flipping this thing, y'all. So that's how it started. Because remind you, I would not speak. I hated speaking in front of people. I did not like speaking in front of people. I have a list for one. I talk with my tongue. And I was like, I'm not gonna know. But it started out like that. Then I started doing like narcissist podcasts because I used, for some reason, I was just a magnet to narcissists. And I was like, oh, like goodness. So I started doing a podcast on that. And then God flipped it again. And then it turned to like mental health. And then he flipped it again. And then it was kind of like, okay, use your platform to help others and bring other people's stories out and give me my glory. And then it was kind of like bringing people on who have businesses and who have written books, etc. So it's kind of like he used me to open a platform for others to come on and tell their stories and not just mine. And then after that, I finally wrote my book. My book hit last year, around about this time, Resuscitated for Pain's Purpose. God helped me write that book. He even gave me the title because ain't no way I would have thought of that. And my book just went bananas. Like people were just buying the book, and it was touching a lot of people. And yes, I was scared to write that book, but God was like, "Hey, if you want me to free you, if you want to heal, let me do me. Let me be me. I am who I say I am." So I had to take my hands off of it and do what He asked me to do. And last year, God gave me 23rd Psalms, and I never understood what the 23rd Psalm. You know, I knew what it was because when I was in Sunday school, I had a Sunday school teacher named Miss Mosdella. God bless her soul. She made us learn and rehearse the 23rd Psalm. But God brought it back to me last year, and I was like, Lord, so every morning and every night I say the 23rd Psalm with the Lord's Prayer, and I've been doing that for about maybe 2 years now straight. And I was like, okay, Lord, why are we revisiting this again? Like, okay, again, I'm being obedient. So I, you know, like I said, I got back in the church, and things just started looking up for me, and I was like, wow, some the devil did his little million. They did start trying to attack me, try to tear me down, telling me I was betraying, the family and stuff like that. But I was like, you can say whatever you want to say. Enough is enough because I would not have my kids carry what I have carried. And so as time went on, I started getting closer to God. I started isolating myself more so I could hear Him again. I'm in the cocoon stage, so I started isolating myself more because I really want to hear from God. I really wanted to just, you know, be be healed and whole again. Like I just wanted to be who God has called me to be, and I know my purpose is big. I just didn't know what it was. But as we came into 2023, you know, God put me amongst some amazing women, and now I'm a part of an amazing organization, an amazing sisterhood, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And it just was like that was the beginning of being connected to people who saw me, and who wanted to be there and who supported me. That was my way of networking and connecting again because again, I'm isolating myself. Like I don't trust people. I'm like, But I went through that process, and then um, after I back up, after I got my bachelor's, I got my master's in 2019. So I'm the first in my family to have a master's. So it's kind of like these firsts. God is He's just really breaking some things off and building things up in my life. But anyway, back to where I was, and after I got into the organization, got into the sisterhood of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, then things just started looking up job wise. things started just, you know, and I remember when I was living in Austin, and I know one of my nieces wanted to come and stay with me, and I was going to like sacrifice some things for her to come and stay with me because I'm like, hey, change is good. Let's, you know, if you want to come and stay with me, that's fine. And I was going to sacrifice some things so she can come and stay with me. And I don't talk about my finances because nobody bids about my finances. And so I remember her calling me one night, and she was like, I said, so what are you planning on doing? Because I need to know how I need to move. And I remember her saying just as clear that it was told to her that how can I take care of her when I can even take care of myself? I don't make that kind of money, and it was just so much negativity that came, and I was like, oh my God, like that's how y'all really feel about me. But I wouldn't even don't be worried about my finances because if you never exploited me from the jump, I want you wouldn't be, we won't be here. But again, I don't discuss my finances with people, but I knew where I was standing and what God had me. But anyway, I just said, oh, okay. I said, well, it is what it is, and I left it at that. But um, God has really showed his hand. When I really thought God had forgot about me, when I really thought God was just had overlooked me, I was like, God, where are you? Like what is happening? Do you hear me? Like, do you see me? Why do you have me going through this? Like, what is happening? You know how he told the devil, he said, have you ever considered my servant Job? Like, that's how I felt. I felt like Job. I was like, hold on, man. Like, what I do? Like, but that's how I felt. But God was really transforming me and pruning me and stripping me. And it was very uncomfortable. And as I was going through 2023, I ended up um joining. I never forget, I went for a position. That's what it was. I went for a position on the job that I was on, and they declined me. And they picked someone else over me. And I was very distraught because if you know me, you know I love children, I love youth. But they picked somebody with less experience than me, and all thing they could say was I wasn't bilingual. Be it, but anyway. So I remember I told my friend, I was like, I'm not going to work tomorrow. I think it was a Thursday, and my hair appointment was like a Friday. And I was like, I'm not going to work tomorrow. I was like, I just want to go get my hair cut. I just want to go, do some self-care, and I want to be in the presence of God. Like, that's all I want to do. And she was like, I think you should. You need to have friends like that support you when you say you want to be in the presence of God and self-care, them two things, and they support you, keep it. But anywho, so that's what I did. I went and got my hair cut, not knowing that God was gonna meet me there. He met me there. And when I say strip, I got stripped. Yep, he stripped me completely in that hair salon. Not knowing this lady really worked for God. Like, okay. But when I left out that shop, I felt like a brand new person. Not from the haircut, but literally, physically, spiritually. I felt relieved. And it's like everything that I had talked to God about and cried to God about this lady for that. Oh, she talked to me about it. I'm like, I don't even know you. But that's how I knew God was there. And it was just crazy because like right before that, like right after that, I was like, I was going through my stage where I was getting ready to hit this mark. And I was like, man, my mom not here. I don't have no family support. Every time I go through a milestone, I don't have nobody there. I'm tired of being alone. And I end up going to this lady's church or whatever. And we became spiritual sisters. And God was just moving, y'all. And you just never know how God is orchestrating and putting puzzle pieces together in your life. You just never know. And the whole time when I went to this hair salon, that was a puzzle. He was putting it together. God heard me, y'all. When I didn't think he heard me, God heard me. And when he saw me to that shop, he was putting the pieces together then. And I ended up going to this lady's church, and we became spiritual sisters. And then they started embracing me, and when people started to embrace me, and when they started to embrace me, of course I'm gonna put my wall up because I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, you know, trust issues, trust issues. Like I'm gonna give you a little bit, I ain't gonna give you too much, but trust issues. Woo, 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 woo. But she did not care. She went through that wall. She was like, I got you. Like it was just crazy how she just bust through my wall and was like, I got you. And God was just stripping me and was like, tear down this wall. You said you tired of being alone. I'm bringing you what you have prayed for. I'm sending you what you have asked me for. And if people don't know, I'm going to tell you, I always wanted to be in a two-parent home. I always wanted to be raised by a mother and a father. I always wanted to be a PK. I don't know why, but I always wanted to be a PK. And my mama knew, my biological mother knew I wanted to be in a two-parent home. And so I'm not taking nothing from her because she did amazing. She did what she was sent to do. And now when I say God was like, I'm sending you what you have prayed for. I'm sending you what you have asked me for. Tear down that wall and let them in. So finally I went on ahead, and it was like one night I just texted her. Like she kept saying what God was telling her to tell me. And it was kind of like, woo, child, been there before, woo, woo, you know. But God had spoke to me so clear one night and was like, I need you to do this. And I was like, I know you tripping. And he was like, do it. So I did it, and she received it with open arms. And I'm glad to say that I tore that wall down and I was obedient, because now I have a mother and a father. And when I say this man loved me like this man loved me. Like I can say the words daddy. I can say the words mother. Who, like, it's mind blowing how God works. And like I said, I'm not taking nothing from my biological mother. She did what she had to do, but her time came to an end. God has given me a second win. God has given me a second chance. And for those who have threw bricks and stuff at me, I have took your bricks, baby, and I have built them, and I am standing on them. Me and God have put them bricks together. I am standing on them like the Statue of Liberty. Do you hear me? I am the 2023 Statue of Liberty. Thank you for the bricks. Because when I tell you God has done some things in my life that is mind blowing. When I was broke, busted, and disgusted, everybody wanted to be around me. But when God elevates you, when God brings you out that cocoon, when God brings you into that butterfly stage, them people be looking like, how the hell she survived? I'm sorry, but it is what it is. People be looking like, how she survived it? What? I threw a brick at her. Yeah, you threw that brick, and God grabbed it and gave it to me, and we were just putting it together. Y'all was throwing bricks, and we were just putting it together. We were just putting it together. Baby, call me the new Statue of Liberty. Do you hear me? Because here I am, a living testimony, walking, showing you God's glory. I have fought through my doctoral degree. When my student loans ran out, yes, they did. They ran out. But God, when they ran out, God already had the finances for me. I went and paid all my tuition in full. Wasn't no partial payments. God paid my tuition in full. Didn't lack at all. And what takes people 5 to 8 years to finish a doctoral degree, it took me 3. 3. 3. And people still trying to figure out how. God. And it's nothing you can say about me, because some of y'all not even attached to me no more. And I used to want people validation, but I don't even want people validation. I want God's validation. That's the only validation I'm doing. I can care less what a person think or feel about me, because y'all don't even know me anyway. The only people that know me are the people who are in my circle. And if you want to know anything about me, go get my book. But that's who I used to be. And some of y'all can't figure me out now because you don't have that access to me. And that's how God wanted. God has given me a second win, a second chance, a new beginning, a whole new family, amazing friends, and not bragging. I'm just giving you God's glory and a testimony, because all my friends are professionals. We have traveling RNs, we have movie writers, screenwriters, singers, surgical tech. Can we keep going, God? What? And then on top of that, I'm connected to some celebrities. I am not ordinary. I am not just no rinky-dink person. I move gracefully and I'm very humble. Since I got my doctorate, people just called me doctor. It ain't really hit me. It don't hit me that, girl, you are overqualified in your position, but I know in my position it's an assignment. It's an assignment. And when I look back over my life, y'all, to where I am now, that was number God's hand just orchestrate my life, putting the pieces together. Just he had me the whole time. But my mother she had to leave for me to fulfill what he had for me. Because if my mother here, she was gonna protect me all kind of ways and enable me all kind of ways. But God knew what he had put inside of me. He knew that I was what my family needed. I didn't know, I didn't get it, but he knew. He knew. And he still knows. It was spoken to me that I am breaking 6 years of generational curse. 6. And it was crazy when it's not crazy, but it was just mind blowing when it was spoken over me that I'm breaking 6 years of generational curses because my line number is 6. My line number is 6. And everything started happening to me in an amazing way in 2023. And I was talking to my friend girl this weekend, and I said, when I think about the year 23 and my line number 6 and me breaking 6 generational curses, I think about the 23rd Psalm, chapter 6. Go look it up. And if you don't know the 23rd Psalm, it says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. He lead me through the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod, thy staff, thy company. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anoints my head with oil. My cup overflows with blessings. Now here's 23 and 6. Surely your goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Surely your goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. That's how God orchestrated me from 2022. He gave me Psalm 23. Then when I came in 2023, I crossed with the number 6. And then I'm breaking 6 generational curses. Surely your goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Y'all can't tell me God ain't good. Y'all can't tell me God is not who he say he is. This weekend I was at my friend's house and we all had went out to eat and we came back home and started watching a movie. And I was in like this state of, she said, you look tired. But I wasn't tired. I was really mellow. It was kind of like a calm feeling, a relaxing feeling. It was kind of like a feeling of I'm free. It was kind of a feeling like that. It was just so unexplainable. But it was a feeling of I'm free. I'm loved. God that gave me a second wind and a second chance. Those walls I had are torn down. I'm connected to people who really genuinely love me. I'm in a nice house. I have a nice vehicle, despite of being financially exploited, despite of the bricks that's been thrown at me, despite of what people have said about me, despite of losing a mother, seeing her die, despite of losing a grandmother on Christmas, despite of losing my baby cousin, despite of being abandoned and homeless, despite of all of that I have gone through, God says, surely your goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will do the will of God. I mean, I felt free. I feel free. And now, all thing I want to do is the work of God. I want to work for God. I want to travel. I want to minister. I want to speak. I want to sing. Every gift that God has put inside of me, I am ready to use. I am walking in my authority. I am snatching what is mine back. I am going to be who God has called me to be, and that's not mediocre. When I look back over my life to who I am now, God has been bringing me this far to just sit. I have work to do. I have work to do. And I ask God every day when no matter where I am, whether it's the grocery store, the gas station, work related, I don't care where I am. I want the flesh in me to decrease and for him to increase in me so people can see him and not me. When I open my mouth, I want people to hear him and not me. When I walk into the room, I want my light to dim. I want my light to shine bright in a room and not be dim. And when I walk in, they gonna know. They not gonna see. They gonna know it's God. We living in a world that's dim and dark, and we got people walking around here that don't know Him. Some people don't even know what love is, and I used to be that person. I thought I knew what love was, but it was toxicity. But now that God has shown me love and have brought me people who really love me, I'm ready to give it back. I'm ready to give it back. If it's not of God, I don't want to be a part of it. A lot of people may feel like, oh, she don't like to hang out. It's not that I don't like to hang out. I just know what God tells me to do and not to do. I don't move without God. And if you have a relationship with God, you'll understand it. But I thank God for my circle. I thank God for my friends. I have some praying friends. We pray for each other and we hold each other accountable. And I love it. I love it here. I love it here. I have a mother and a father who I love. I love my mama, Felicia Bailey. I love my dad, Stacy. I have a sister and a brother. I have a nana. I have an amazing church family. I'm free. I'm happy. I thank God. I glory. All this is just giving God the glory because I was really broke, busted, and disgusted. But here I am, a whole doctor with a PhD in a nice house, nice car, amazing family. Just free. And I remember I was telling my friend yesterday because we want to get some yogurt. And she said, I could remember a time, we were to, because we was actually, we were restaurant hopping, but we were just really enjoying our day. But like I told her, I remember the time if we were to do something like we did yesterday, I would have to try to move money around. I'd be like, girl, I can't do that because, my finances. But it's kind of like God has me in a situation where my finances weren't even an issue. I was able to swipe with no problem. I was able to enjoy my life. And I know it's more where that's coming from, especially how I'm praying right here. But I just had to be obedient and give God his glory today. Um, I just again want to thank y'all for them bricks. Mhm. I thank y'all for them bricks. I thank y'all for shooting at me. I thank y'all for trying to take me down. I thank y'all for it all. Because everything y'all did, God just used it for my good. And we just built a whole new Statue of Liberty. Richard. But glory to God. More to come from me. Um, if you need me for a speaking engagement, I'm down for it. I'm here for it. My website is on my page, Speak Iconic with Teresa. Also, I have Courageous Village and Companies going. There is a youth program, a mentorship program for youth. Adolescent development and mental health care is what I focus on with that. So if you would like me to connect with your organization or if you'd like me to connect with your youth, um, you can email me at courageousvillageandcompany@gmail.com. That is also located on my Facebook page, or you can, it's a link on, if you saw on Instagram, it's a link tree. You can click that link tree link, and it will give you all of my businesses and platforms, and you can go through there, or you can do it personally, however you feel. Um, but I am open. I'm ready to travel. We can talk about fees when you call me. Um, but it's a lot of souls need to be saved. A lot of deliverance needs to happen. People need to hear other people's stories so they can have a breakthrough. People need to understand that they are not alone. Because I have a lot of people, a lot of clients that come in my office and they look at me as, oh, she educated. And sometimes I have to break it down to them and give them, hey, let me run you my stories before you start judging me. Um, so I am open for speaking engagements. I am open for connecting with your youth or organization for youth development and mental health care. So just get in touch with me. But again, thank you for really watching this. I was being obedient to God. I moved when you tell me to move, but just know God, it gets the glory. No matter what people feel about you, no matter what people say about you, no matter what you have gone through in life, just know you are in the hands of God. God got you. God hears you. God sees you. But everything is in God's timing. And when he puts you in the cocoon stage, just know you're not going to be in that cocoon for long. You're going to eventually transform into a caterpillar, and then eventually you're going to spread like a butterfly and you're going to fly. And at this point in my life, I am a butterfly. I am flying. I am free. I am enjoying life. And I'm loving life. I'm taking everything in and I'm giving God the glory. I worship God. And I just really want to be in a place where I just hear from him all the time. Because when it's all said and done, only thing Teresa want to hear at the end of the day is well done, my good and faithful servant. So y'all have an amazing day. Share this. Yeah, share it. Bye.